What is up, folks? How you doing? I'm Doof. I'm back with some more Challengers Cup action, and I'm gonna undeafen him now. But I am joined by wonderful Volpez and Colta. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, that works, man. Hello,
Perfect.
everyone.
Hey, so we got a pretty sweet matchup for you guys today. Actually, it's Viking Cop's Marvellous Mutants, who you see here, and Golgothan's Ratz off to you. We were talking about these teams a little bit before. These are two of the longest standing and most successful coaches in ReBBL, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Gorgathan's with his Rats. I believe this is his 8th season with them. I think I might have heard that he may be um, re-rolling after this. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but yeah, it might be the oldest team in ReBBL. I'm not sure if there's an older one at the moment. And then Viking Cop, this is his 7th season in ReBBL. Not all with the same team, but the majority of them with Chaos.
Yeah, and we've got his Chaos team up on the screen right here for everyone to take a look at, and it's a pretty good Chaos team. I like that it's not just straight kill. He's got some fun pieces in here.
Yeah, he did, right? I mean, so there's a few skills in here that you don't typically see on a Chaos team. So, movement and horns on a warrior, stand firm on a warrior. He has the plus strength tentacles warrior. Um, a lot of a grab on a beastman. So, it was a prehensile tail on a beastman. So he definitely went the creative route of
Yeah.
forming this.
Yeah, I think my favorite is the build your own beast of Nurgle, Suction Sullivan here.
That's a hell of a beast of Nurgle.
Yeah.
That's a great piece. He was rewarded with taking tents on the first skill. Nuffle was very pleased with that, and eventually awarded him with a plus strength.
Yeah, so that piece went from being just kind of good to really good.
Yeah,
And then he's got
really good against rats in particular.
Oh yeah,
It seems like he's really good against gutter runners, also in particular with the tackle and the strength 5 tents.
yeah. Every gutter runner that warrior manages to base is going to have a really bad time. No, but it's a strong team. The only thing that's a little bit of a bummer is he got a little dinged up in his game last round. It looks like he's got 3 pieces out, 2 of them with perms.
Yeah, he had a 2-0 win Zima Jorah and his Lizards, so it was a convincing victory. I'm sure Claw paved the way in that one, but the Lizards definitely got theirs as well. So it looks like he'll probably be coming into this with no bench.
Yep. Chaos proven to be slightly more fragile than most coaches would like. But that's him. Let's bring up Golgothan here. If I can find the team real quick. If I can find the team, there they are. So Rat's off to you. Like we said, this is potentially the oldest team in ReBBL now that Major Byte has re-rolled Alve. And at first glance, there's not much left of it. It looks like they will actually have the bench in this one. I thought both were going to have loners, but Golgothan has managed to build up a nice wall of meat in between his amazing gutter runners and the Chaos.
Yep, I mean, one of those linemen is now on his 12th rendition, old Bernie Fusterio. They keep pumping him out, which is fantastic. The first thing that jumps off the page here, I guess 3 things. The gutter runners are great. 2, he has baby storm merman, and 3, Gary Friendly is on the pitch.
Yep. Gary Friendly, probably the memeiest player in ReBBL, still alive despite, let's see how many games he's played. 126 without so much as a perm. And yeah, he is possibly the only line rat to have Apo rights, although I don't know if he will for this game.
I don't know. If you were ever going to Apo a lino, it might be Gary Friendly. But
Yep.
he's a monster, so I expect him to be stomping on some people's heads. And the thing was that always gives this team a chance is that he has 2 movement 10 gutters. The one with the natural 1-turner with 2 heads and catch. That's pretty filthy. And he also has another one with 2 heads and a plus movement as well. So 2 fantastic gutters there that really are going to be tough to stop them from scoring.
Yeah, very much so. But, I mean, the other thing that Golgothan's going to have going for him is he is going to have the inducements in this game. as I'm just going to duck out into Cabal TV to make sure they haven't gotten started yet. 'Cause it's been about 5 minutes since they said they're starting in 5. Not quite. But I would assume he's going to have roughly around 300k, give or take, in inducements. So I assume he's going to have a wizard plus... What else would you take, do you think, in this matchup?
What was the TV difference again?
It's going to be like 1550 versus Viking Cop's going to have close to 1900 with loners.
So definitely wizard. If you were planning on keeping the team after this playoffs, I would consider an Apo. But if Clark can get on the field as well, that will extend your bench and give a pretty good piece out there. So those are probably the ones that I'd be looking at.
Yep. Yeah, I would almost consider the Wandering Apo, even if you're just to go deep in the playoffs, because there's always the possibility of being able to power Apo one of those gutter runners early if it gets stuck on the Tentacles Warrior and murdered.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good call. I mean, when you have the natural one-turners, I think your propensity to draw a match goes up quite a bit, right? And so this is overtime format, so it's not too crazy to see this game go past 16 turns. If that's the case, then Ratz are probably going to be grinded down. That extra Apo could play a huge factor into not only keeping your team down the road, but winning this match as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's playoffs is a marathon, not a sprint, and this Rat team is very good at sprinting, as we've seen throughout the regular season, but the danger is not that he could lose this game. The danger is that he could win this game, but lose his team in the process.
Very easily.
Although, to be fair, the danger is also that he could lose this game, because Viking Cop is a former G-Man 1 coach on his way back up there. He definitely knows how to play this game. He's been in playoffs before. I heard from Golgothan that the game is loading in right now, so we should see it on the list shortly here. I guess while we're waiting for it, if you had to pick one of these teams, who do you think is going to win this game?
I think I'm going to go with Viking Cop and the Mutants. I think that just what I was stating previously is that, I think the Rats can very much get this into overtime if have to with the one-turners, but if it does extend and it is a longer match, I think that favors the Chaos just being able to grind them down to a point where they eventually come out on top. And like you said, I think Viking Cop is just such an established coach that he's going to be tough to beat no matter what team.
Yeah, he definitely is. I'm going to turn my game volume down here real quick. Hold on. I am kind of feeling like... I don't know. I think I'm favoring the Rats in this because they have not just one, but two natural one-turners. And that's just really, really tough to deal with. Like,
right, I got it pulled up in my client as well, so just let me know where you are and we can sync up.
We are live, and I am live right now. I'm watching the Rats set up. It looks like the Chaos got offense here. And Golgothan took a Wizard, a Wandering Apo, and a Babe. So this is very defensive, I think, inducements. So he's probably thinking about it.
He's going to throw everyone as far back as possible in defense?
That is his setup, it looks like. So he's just feeding all the, the 7th, the 9th, and the 12th linemen to the line here. And
it's very protective.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much saying, I'm not going to allow you to have a blitz to hit a fourth player. So that's so the trade-offs here is as protected as it is that you're not going to be able to take advantage of a blitz or a short kick and a turnover. So it's a bit of a trade-off there, but he's full protective mode, and you saw with the Babe and the Apo. I think that's consistent with his thinking.
Yeah, no, and I think it's also what he's scared of more than anything. I think is that Strength 5 Warrior blitzing, knocking one of the protective line rats out of the way, and then just basing up a gutter runner on turn 1. So
Yeah, there are ways to set up your defense that can prevent that. You don't. I mean, there are other defensive setups than the rule of five. So I
Yeah,
mean, you
true,
could
true.
prevented that without being as conservative as this. But it's a play. Like, I mean, he only has a bench of one, and he probably does. You know, is really cognizant of trying to keep that one turner healthy. So
Yeah.
I think they repeat a victory. So I can understand him wanting to be conservative with the amount of hits that he's taking.
Yeah, and I think he's just trying to get through this chaos offensive drive with as many players alive as possible. I think he's fine with the chaos scoring and scoring whenever they feel like it. As Riot is canceled out by the security gate.
Very appropriately, Gary Friendly kicks us off with kicking it to the corner there.
Yeah, nice deep kick.
Gary does everything right.
I don't think Golgothan's going to try to do the short kick and steal because there's two Agi 4 Beastmen, one with sure hands, so Viking Cop's not going to have too much trouble securing the ball here.
No, it's not likely, right? So
yeah,
with the sure hands, agility 4, please.
Yeah, so we see the first punch of the game is going to connect here. And just a stun. I guess technically the second punch of the game, but...
First knockdown anyways.
Yeah.
Here comes the grab beastman making a play. And Ratz are holding up well so far.
If you're Golgothan, you definitely can't complain about this. At least yet. Let's see how this goes. No, that's fine.
I mean, the Ratz with the baby blitzers just don't have a lot of punching power. No mighty blow on the team. It's the attrition war is not going to favor them. I mean, I guess anything can happen, but very unlikely for them to do much damage here. So, if you're Viking Cop, yeah, you don't have a bench, but you don't expect to be taking a lot of enemies here.
Yeah, I think the worst that might happen is, and maybe what Golgothan is hoping for, is he gets a lucky punch on one of the good beastmen, like the grab one, and knocks it out of the game. But I don't think he's going to be going for any sort of attrition plays here, except for whatever Gary can remove with his foot.
Now, because he has no bench, I don't expect him to be fouling much, Viking Cop. So I think that's, I guess, something to take of note. He'll probably be conservative with his fouls.
Yeah. He doesn't have a bench. He does have loners, so I could see if one of the gutter runners goes down and he can get like a 2 or 3 assist foul on it. He might take that, but particularly I think isn't one of the runners... Yeah, the really good gutter runner that's on the sideline right now is niggled, so if that piece goes down,
yeah,
I would almost consider...
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I mean, because he can just win the game by himself, right? So.
Yeah. And we are definitely seeing preservation mode from Golgothan here.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a strategy.
It is definitely a strategy. Not going to be kind of the most exciting thing to watch, right? But once again, he feels like his best chance to win this is to have his one turner available. So preventing hits is definitely a way to go, and this is the way to do it.
Yeah, this is like... He's got nowhere else to run, so next turn the Chaos are going to run up the field and force kind of the engagement, but this takes one turn of punches out of the equation. And I don't think... Yeah, Viking Cup would have to take a bunch of GFIs if he wants to even hit this turn, so I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I do think he needs to flood up the pitch, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. There are 3 Skaven linemen on the ground that you can't ignore. And you could kind of fall into a trap where you kind of send people flooding up the field, and then your team ends up getting split pretty easily. So I would expect Viking Cop to be a bit conservative in moving up the field, and at the very least, letting his ball carrier and the wrestle tackle piece catch up before he does that.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like that is exactly what he's doing. He's not gonna allow these line rats free reign. I think that would be the best way to deal with it, is leave the prehensile tail on them, and then take 4 or 5 pieces and just run up the field next turn. The other thing he's doing here, which I like, is he's not giving the rats any isolated pieces to go blitz down and surround and foul.
Yeah. I mean, if he's going to hit anybody, it's going to be the 2 loners on the corners. So, and he can't even really get an assist on those. So, I'm expecting Gilgathan to probably do the same thing and take another step back with his formation.
Yeah. So this first half might be pretty quick. I think Viking Cop's also respecting the wizard here to a certain extent. As soon as he brings that ball into gutter runner range, it's going to have to be well protected.
Yep, that's fair. Typically with a wizard, you'd want to be able to capitalize on a wizard to turn over and score, but I mean he hasn't really put his team in a place to do that. So I would maybe consider holding on to the wizard this half if he's really just gonna wait until the chaos eventually gets to them. So I mean, this is interesting. I'm not quite sure I've seen a game like this, but it'll be interesting. I think it'll get interesting at some point.
Well, I think the second half is going to be, because I guess here's how I'd play this if I was Golgothan and I was going to play this kind of preservation style. Let the chaos score at will. Bang in your 1 turn on turn 8 to even up the score at half. 1 turn again, or stall as long as you can and then score, and then look to use the wizard to stop the equalizer. And even if it fails going into overtime, it's basically a 50-50 shot to just straight up win the game.
Yeah. The one critique I would have with that is that if the 1-turner doesn't score, then your plan is a bit foiled there. Viking Cop does have the fan factor coming in here, so I don't know. It's interesting, right?
Yeah, it's...
If the perfect defense comes up, if a blitz comes up, you very well could just have your 1-turner foiled. Not only that, you could, 1-turns do fail at times.
Yes, they do.
Even when you have all of the skills and the built-in rerolls. So it's... I don't think it's the best strategy to win, but it can be effective. So, and he's definitely restricting the amount of hits that he's taking. So he could come out semi-healthy out of this if it works.
I think if he goes into the half healthy, even if he's down 1-0, I think he's happy.
Yeah. I think I agree with that.
Yes, we are. That's a bit fireball baity right there up at the front of Viking Cop's formation. Especially if once he closes off that avenue he's got going in right now.
Would you take the fireball?
Probably not against Chaos, but
yeah, I don't think so. You'd have to have a pretty great fireball for you to be able to turn him over. So
yeah. Anytime I just see 4 or more players clustered together against a fireball, I always start to wonder.
So I haven't seen Golgothan play all that much. I know he streams sometimes, but is this? I guess True Blue came in and says that he kind of plays the first few turns to survive. I guess this is a somewhat common occurrence for him to be super conservative on defense.
I think he plays preservation mode with his team a lot because there's essentially 4 good players on it and Gary friendly. So that's his protect 5 right there. The thing is just his gutter runners are so good that he doesn't have to go crazy aggressive with it. Although, as I say that, we see he is moved in one gutter runner and based up the ball here.
All of a sudden, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess he's decided it's go time.
Yeah.
Definitely holding onto the wizard, which I like, because I think the threat of it is worth more than the actual wizard itself right now. Yeah, Glue is saying he turns up the defense after not playing for a few turns, which looks to be what he's doing right now. He's
can lull opponents to sleep. Can lull the audience asleep too. But I'm glad he's ramping it up here.
Yeah.
Tagging the strength 5. Probably gonna try and tag the tackle pieces. We'll see. Hey Luke, hope to have you join us. It's still fairly easy to get a 3 die on this side step right here.
Yeah, it's I see what he's done. He's kind of stretched the chaos out a little bit, waited for them to finally move forward with a few pieces, and now he's kind of not really cut them in half, but he's definitely asking some questions of him.
You know, if the Chaos aren't able to get knockdowns next turn, all this basing will really put them in a bit of a tough position to protect the ball, and that could lead to a great turn to use the wizard.
Yeah. The downside, of course, is that now you've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Skaven pieces based, some of them against Mighty Blow, and if he does get some removals out of this, it could be a little challenging for Golgothan.
It could most definitely backfire on him.
Yep.
Definitely the risk.
Especially now that Gary Friendly has based. And yeah, this is kind of all in.
Kinda. This is most definitely all in.
Yeah.
All right. This went from 0 to 100 real quick, didn't it?
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, and there's your reroll gone.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Instant reroll from Viking Top, but yeah, that's not what you want. So we see a 1 die.
Wow.
Risky with no reroll here.
That is specifically risky. Interesting. He put him in quite a bit of a bind here.
Dodge is gonna do a thing.
Oh, keeps him on the ball.
Oh, I see what he's doing. This is now gonna be a chain push to knock the sidestepper off the ball.
He will need to pow him though, and he gets it. So formidable play there by Viking Top, and oh lord.
Well then, so this is what we were worried about. This will definitely pull out the first Apo. I say definitely pull out the first Apo. As Golgothan thinks about it, there he goes.
No. Thank you, Doc. Dr. Ian Black.
He is fine for now.
That's
he was move busted, which might have been why Golgothan was thinking about it, but I think in a playoff setting, you just can't lose a gutter runner. So now that extra Apo feeling like the right choice, as Golgothan will now not be playing as scared with his gutter runners as he might have been.
Alright, freed up the rest of the tackle piece.
That's a bit of
another hit.
That's a bit of a risky hit because he could have just sidestepped right back on the ball, but gets the POW.
So not a lot of great places to place the ball here, especially to protect from the wizard next turn. He could just step up one more and hit off the gutter, and he is in a cage. He did a fantastic job just even doing that, but We got a lot of rats right there to be able to scoop this ball up and run away.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you've said is probably the best play as we see. Nope, just a stun. Other than the death, the rat's holding up pretty well so far, I would say.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. If he doesn't step up, yeah, still fairly protected. So yeah, I think you're probably right, Cleric. That stepping up would be even worse idea.
Ooh, yeah, you know, that is a good point from Caloric, that it would be a 6-man fireball, which I think anyone would take. Yeah, he's got no good answers here.
No, does not take the block on the movement gutter. Well,
I guess the risk of the 1 in 9, like if it's a 1 in 9 and that guy falls over, then he's in real trouble.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit tough for that gutter to be able to get a 2 dice on that corner. So it probably will take some dodges from or at least one dodge from a Lino and a GFI from a Lino. But then even then, who's gonna hit the ball? So I can understand him not taking that final block. But does the wizard come out here? Would you take the wizard?
It's a fireball. Wow. So KO on the piece that matters, and a knockdown, but that scatter is
yeah, not
pretty good for the chaos.
Yep, right next to the prehensile tail too.
Yeah.
So not only is it in a couple of tackle zones, but makes a dodge more difficult.
You can engineer a hit here to knock the prehensile tail off. It's not easy, but you
could.
You
try
could.
to
Yeah, I
blitz
think
him
it's.
on and push him up for the 1 die, which is probably worth it with your blitzer.
I think you take Wayne Skylar and you just swing around the back here and do the 1 die to push him, at least push him away.
And if you can't push him away, you probably still go for the ball recovery and have this Brandon the 9th just kind of fuck off on the bottom right corner of the screen.
Exactly. It's a 2+, and then a 4+ pickup, and then a 2+ dodge, because prehensile tail gets canceled out by 2 heads.
Oh man, I didn't even realize that. You're right, it is. So yeah, the prehensile tail doesn't come into factor here.
Yeah, no, he has 2 movement 10 2-head gutter runners. It's pretty bonkers. Yeah.
Sounding a bit low. Sorry, Luke. Maybe it's just me talking quietly.
Let's see, I can also boost you here. Say something again real quick.
Test.
Yeah, that sounds better to me. So
Okay, good.
let me know if he's still low, and I'll boost him real quick.
Boost me up. You got
Yep.
it, doof.
Boost the gain. I'll boost you still.
Alright. Hey, what's up, Gowdy? So here is the blitz. I assume they're going to try and push the Beastman up and gets the PAL.
Ooh. You are a bit ahead of me, it looks like. I'm still waiting on the blitz to come through.
Oh, my bad. I'll slow down.
Nah, you're good. I think I might have a replay bug here. We'll see. Nope, there we go. So here comes the blitz. There is the POW.
Cool. Alright, positive. We should be caught up.
Yep. And Brandon doesn't go for the ball. He goes for the corner. So... there we go.
Right.
Oh! But he snakes the dodge.
That's super unfortunate. I mean, I understand why he did that. I think it was less likely to work with using the other gutter, but the reward was that he was going to actually be able to have another piece down here, easily stall out to the end of the half, and really just have a chance just to win this game. So Definitely wasn't like it was a ton of risk there, but I think it was less likely to work to use the sidestep gutter to pick up the ball and try and do a handoff or pass.
Yeah, and at the same time, even though that snake happened, and like he definitely wasn't expecting that, but recovery options for the chaos still aren't fantastic here. Like,
Toast Guy, have you not heard of Gary Friendly?
yes, hold on, let's take a look at him here as we see a blitz coming in. Find the POW, but I've got Gary Friendly right here. He is a dirty player, sneaky get, kick, wrestle, line rat. This mighty blow continues to be kinda ineffective.
Well, did kill one gutter, but yeah. So I mean, Gary Friendly, we looked at before the match. What was like 120,
126 or something games this line rat has played with no
perms.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I think some of them have been Appo'd away, because this piece has Appo rights. But
like one of Ariel's best memes.
Yep. But yeah, he's still... I don't know how safe he is in this game, because I don't know if Golgothan's going to value winning the game over keeping the meme alive. Yeah, no, he's said several times he keeps the team for Gary Friendly, and if Gary Friendly ever dies, that's the team's last season. Because it's the last original player. Everything else is, some version. You got the 9th, the 3rd, the 6th, the 10th, the 9th all the way down here, like...
I mean, Gary Friendly is probably the coach, probably has some stake in the ownership of the team. I mean, he goes down, the whole team goes down.
And it looks like Viking Cop's not even going to bother trying to pick up the ball here. He has just flooded it with, prehensile tail, tentacles nearby, all these things to make sure that Skaven can't pick it up either.
Yep, and we do see the Strength 5 tentacles for the first time basing a gutter runner, which is it's going to be extremely tough for him to get away, especially with the tackle and the tentacles.
Oh, yeah.
I still think this is a bit risky here for Viking Cop not attempting a pickup. There are ways to be able to try to get additional scatter out of this. So, but he did a pretty damn good job of recovering.
Yeah, and I think the risk here for me isn't the Skaven engineering some sort of crazy pickup or rolling a bunch of 6s. The risk is running out of time to score.
That's a fair statement. He has just 3 turns left to recover and push it down the field here without his ball carrier on the field, who is currently down.
Yeah. Yeah, Luke's saying Gary has died, but Appos have revived him, so... It's not that he's never taken an injury, it's just that he's always gotten better.
So, tough spot here for Golgathan. He definitely is going to have to roll quite a bit of dice here to try to engineer some form of defense, much less even trying to get the ball here. But there are dice to be had.
Yep. As there's the reroll. Looks like the target is the Agi 4, so Golgothan just doesn't want that piece picking up the ball, if at all possible.
Bit of a risky reroll with the no block blitz there.
I don't know what else you do in this situation. Maybe you dodge Gary Friendly out for the foul. It's only a 1 assist foul, but it is dirty player.
Yeah, I think unfortunately you might have to start standing players up just to take actions. If he stands everyone up, then it's going to be Viking Cop's going to have quite a bit of knockdowns to be able to form some sort of cage here to protect the ball. So
yeah, no, he's used his blitz already. 1 die rewarded. That moving the movement 10 runner back up here to base Distorted Diana makes me think we're going to see a foul.
Cleric, I was thinking the same thing of trying to get an additional scatter, but it looks like he elected to not worry about the pickup here, and instead tried to form some sort of defense, and Gary Friendly makes his presence known.
Gets involved in a big way here.
Gouged eye.
That's instant Apo from Viking Cop. He can't not have that player. But yeah, that is now no Agi 4, which means the Chaos are carrying on an Agi 3 Beastman with no sure hands.
I said, what was it, just a couple turns ago, that the Ratz don't have much punching power or chances for removals, but the Fireball and the Dirty Player are definitely two tools that you can use to remove players, and both have done that so far.
Yep. The Fireball, unfortunately, was a one-shot, but it's definitely done its job. Gary Friendly is the enforcer of this team at this point, essentially.
Wow, and another stun.
Except for random rookie line rats, apparently.
Hidden Mighty Blow. We all know this.
Yep, and...
I'm pretty fortunate one dies here. With using the reroll early, he had a few one dies, the dodge from Gary Friendly, the stun. I'd say the dice definitely went Gogathan's way that turn. So did a pretty good job of trying to do the best he can to put a lot of pressure here and slow Viking Cop down even more.
Yeah, I liked his turn ordering on that. He did some risky actions, but he did them all late after he had done everything else he wanted to do. And everything he did was like kind of a, if it fails, it's not gonna dramatically impact what I'm doing here. That said,
canceling sidestep there.
Grab, a very underrated skill, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a niche skill. I think it's good to have if you're able to place it appropriately. I think Viking Cop has done a good job of understanding what he needs to do here.
Yep.
Ooh, 3 die on one of the movement 10.
He is powed. And he's out.
Yeah.
Honestly, Golgothan's probably okay with that.
So Clawy McClaw, who just had a natural 3 die with his horns and strength 4, that's his second gutter he's removed this drive.
Yep. Man, Chaos Warrior horns look really good. Look at those things.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that, actually.
They look nice. Some of the mutations in this game look real good, and that was a mistake there, I think. Because now he's just going to sidestep onto the ball. Or not. Never mind.
He would have stayed on Tentacles. Well, I guess if a follow would have kept him. No, it's Fend.
It's Fend, yeah, so.
To disengage from the Tentacles as opposed to staying on the ball.
Yeah, but I mean, it's. No, I guess you're stepping voluntarily onto Mighty Blow Tackle, too, so. Maybe it makes sense.
With already 2 gutters already out, but yeah, it would have made this pickup more difficult.
Yep. I mean, I know it's not how dice work, but if that Gutter Runner had been there, the pickup would have failed. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's risk and reward to almost everything in this game, so.
Yeah. And now I feel like Viking Cop's going to be able to cover this off pretty well. It's not going to be a perfect screen, but it's going to be a good enough screen, I think. Chaos do not have a bench, Calric. They actually have 2 loners going into this game. Viking Cop took 3 MNGs or worse in his win last round. So, under normal circumstances, they have a bench.
I think that also was a bit of a risk for one die. We might consider re-rolling it if it failed. Without it, it was not a terribly difficult 2 die on the ball there. It took some dodges from maybe a line rat and the gutter as well, but I do think it was a bit risky.
Yeah, I guess right now you can see Which gutter? Yeah, I guess Joy Peters can dive through here, right in between Krasnogor and the Grab Beastman is probably his best route through.
Yep.
But it's going to be difficult to get line rat support.
If he goes actually through the Loner Beastman and the Warrior, he actually made that dodge even easier for him.
Yeah, no, that's one dodge through right now.
Yep.
I would consider trying to get a line rat through that.
I think, yeah, no doubt. I think that was a mistake by Viking Cop moving him there because now there's not really a screen there. So just a 2+3+ for a 2-die on the ball here.
Yeah. Yeah, you bring the gutter through first to base up, because even if the line rat dodge fails, then you've got sidestep on the ball again.
Yeah. Now recovery is not great.
No, but at this point, just knocking it down is a victory, I think.
Yep, I think so too.
If he doesn't get knocked over, Viking Cop is in range to score.
So, yeah, looks like Gogathan's going to take more of a conservative approach and try to just kind of get in front of the ball here. He may put the sidestepper on it. He's been doing that consistently throughout this turn, so...
Yeah, I mean, you can bring the sidestepper all the way around the back line, which is what he's going to do. Yeah, right there is a good spot.
Oh, wow. Very friendly. He does everything right.
I like that one die.
It was risky. If you're willing to use a reroll, then I liked it as well. But yeah, that puts him in such an incredibly favorable position here.
Yeah. I think that's like
the kick, the dirty player stomp, the 1D knockdown.
Oop.
All-star here.
Yep. Oh yeah, I mean you see why this player has Appa rights, as we do see a 1 in 9.
Yeah, he was trying to tag the tackle beastman.
Yeah. Good choice of reroll, just didn't work out there. So the tackle beastman is going to have a free hit on the gutter runner. Perhaps not ideal, but don't think there's much else he can do in this situation.
So just one reroll left. I'm assuming Gogathan's going to try to for the one turn, so I don't expect a reroll to be available for his turn 7 here.
No, I think if he stops the score, that's the best scenario, because then he doesn't have to roll the dice for one turn. But if he doesn't stop the score, he's... Oh! Another big first action dub skull. So
big.
Let's see if he's at least... And he doesn't even get anything out of it.
I'm curious why he elected to free this guy up now in this turn order. He may have to come and base these 2 line rats on the left, but...
He wants more guard and tentacles in and around the ball. I think just in case these next actions fail, making sure that these line rats are tied up at least, hopefully, limits the amount of damage the rats can do.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I was thinking maybe you wanted to hold on to the dodge, but it may be difficult for Gogathan to get a 2-die here with that warrior there. Anyways, so
yeah,
maybe you don't even elect to do the dodge this turn. He is 2 GFIs away, which
without a reroll, I don't think you can do the dodge this turn. And yeah, he's setting up to pin all the dangerous rats in.
Yeah, I like the Horns Warrior too. It's not awful. I mean, I think there's a couple like opportunity costs with taking that, right? Like there's no piling on and there's no tackle yet on that piece. But I think I've heard that Viking Cop really doesn't like piling on all that much.
He does not, from other games that I've watched of him. So if Blood Bowl 3 does use the new rule set that makes piling on cost a team reroll, Viking Cop's going to be better prepared for it than the rest of us.
So he does elect to stand still here.
I know it was risky, but I do like the punch with the ball carrier.
Yeah, I agree with that. But 1 and 9, he goes down because he's a wrestle put player, right?
Yeah,
I
but
think I like it as well.
Thinking just opportunity cost, like, even if he does go down, there's not really anything that can recover easily. So, and he's got other beastmen around that can pick it up and run it in.
He was really hoping for a knockdown there to free up that other line.
Yeah. Does allow him to push himself off of tentacles, but... Oh, and there's 1 and 9.
And uses the reroll. Wow. Very surprised at that. Very surprised.
I don't know what his plan is here, because...
Yeah, it seemed with those 2 non-knockdowns previously, his plan to be able to either screen or disrupt the score was probably done. So I'm not 100% sure if I agree with that reroll. Definitely, I think I would have kept it for the 1 turn.
Yeah. Especially because he's got... Oh, and there's the dodge fail. He is fine, but this screen is very easily breakable because he's got the grab piece to cancel out sidestep.
Yeah, or he just blitzes the line rat and a push is all he needs.
Yeah.
He can just run through that gap.
We can get a 3-die on the gutter runner though, so...
Yeah, another removed gutter. Rough.
Not many removals from Viking Cop, but they've been on all the good pieces.
Yeah, 3 gutters.
Every single gutter runner is currently on the sidelines. So now it's 2 GFIs to score, and I don't think you do anything else if you're Viking Cop.
Yeah, probably not. I guess you could try to hit the Storm Vermin if you wanted, but yeah, I would keep the reroll for the GFIs.
Yeah, no, I would not risk... I guess it's a safe 2-die on a Storm Vermin, but...
I think he could have made it a 3-die if the loner came and assists with the warrior. That'd be 3 assists, so he could have made it a 3-die if he wanted to get that punch in, which I wouldn't have hated. But.
Yeah. He's definitely thinking about it here.
I think he has to be thinking about scoring here, right? I mean, he has the 2 knockouts. Maybe he's thinking of the 1 knockout roll and the not giving him the 1-turn opportunity, but I think you have to go for the score here.
I think you have to go for the score because the 1 turn's not guaranteed, as he does take the punch here.
He could have made that a 3-die, but maybe he has plans for this other warrior here. No, he stood up more. Yeah, he could have made it a 3-die fairly easily. Maybe he's considering not scoring here. Why make these moves?
I don't like it if he's not scoring.
In case there's a fail state, I suppose. But
no, he's running it in. This is just to... Oh
man,
there's the first one. Not a great start.
Oh no!
Oh, there is the snake.
Heartbreaking.
So, not technically a tripwire because he fell over before the end zone line, but that is painful.
Rough. I think Viking Cop played that drive extremely well. He had to recover the ball a few times, or one time. Gatham played a pretty damn good defense once he engaged. So I give Viking Cop a lot of credit there for doing pretty well there. Um, it's interesting. I mean, if you go back and look at like some of the decisions he made, he elected to throw one of his first actions was like throwing the two dice block, which led to the double skulls on the previous turn, which gave it a reroll, which made dodging wasn't really an option. But had he kept that reroll instead for trying to dodge the beastmen out and prevent those two GFIs, I'm not sure if he could have kept the ball safe while doing that. But you just gotta think about some of the consequences there of some of the past decisions in the past few turns that led to those two GFIs needing to happen and ultimately the fail.
Yeah, I can't really fault how Viking Cop played, because I think he played the half exactly how I would have, except better, because he's a better coach than me. But
yeah, no, I'm not saying.
Yeah, but
I think he played great. It's with Blood Bowl, right? I mean, you could sit there and say, wow, unlucky for him to fail those GFIs, but you could also look and see could have been prevented. I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but I think it's a good thought process to try to think about could those two GFIs could they have been prevented?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's tough to say without reviewing the play state as it was, but I think you're right in that taking those moves forward would have made it very tough to protect the ball.
Or the one turn that he decided to not pick up the ball, could he have picked up the ball? And I think that in itself, because the guy who ended up trying to score ended up having to move down, pick up the ball, and move back. That's two movement there as well. So a lot of things to think about. It became an interesting half after the first three turns of nothing.
Yeah, definitely.
And we see the Babe come into play here for starting the second half. Oh, I have my animations off, so maybe I spoiled it.
Nah, you're good. And yeah, everyone did come back. Viking Cop did get his Agi4 Beast back as well, so it's going to be a full 11 aside here. And Golgothan's probably going to leave the good one-turner on the sidelines here and just play a normal half. Because 0-0...
Yeah, that's interesting. Would you leave him on the bench?
I guess if I'm Skaven in this situation, it's 0-0, it's my drive, second half, no player disadvantage. Like, this is kind of the dream scenario. He's got a movement 10 gutters that he doesn't need to use as a one-turner, but he can use as like I can just run away from anything ball carrier. And I don't know. I feel like banging in a one-turn is just giving the Chaos more opportunities to punch you. Like,
yeah, I definitely would not attempt a one-turn here. Luminous chiming in saying, yeah, I get it, that the anti-gutter Chaos Warrior is definitely a huge concern with fielding the one-turner. But at the same time, I think you're more likely to score with him on the field. I think you're more likely to form an offensive drive, or if you need him to set a screen, or if you want him to carry the ball. I think you're more likely to score with him on the field. So I think it's an interesting decision here to whether you field him or not.
One thing to consider is he is niggled, so that may be factoring into Golgothan's decision, which we'll see shortly if he decides to put him on or not. Because that is the star of the team. As much as we meme about Gary Friendly, that piece is probably what wins Golgothan most of his games.
Yeah, I mean, it's the star of the team that hasn't seen one turn yet on the field. So,
yeah. And, I mean, I think we do have to be fair to Gary Friendly. He's had a game today.
Gary can do no wrong.
Yep. At least so far. Golgothan has been kind of surgical with how he's deployed him, and it's worked out really well. And yep, we are going to see Gibbons the Third is going to be on the pitch for this half.
Yeah, I personally agree with that decision.
Yeah.
I think he has an Apo. I know they don't always work, but I think if you're trying to win the match, you want him on the field.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's an I want to win this game decision. So now just the risk is, of course, making sure he stays alive for next game. As, Blinding Sunshine. I don't know how much passing is going to happen with gutter runners, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it affects Golgathan's drive right now, but it could affect later in the game if the Chaos need to make a 2-turn, or if there's kind of a desperate gutter runner pass play
yeah,
as well. So it could come into effect.
it definitely could, as we wasting no time here. Get the break, which is nice, and Golgathan wants this his left side of the pitch here. I'm going to switch view, actually, so that we can see the rat view for the drive. And we can get a better close-up look at how good these horns look on this Beastman. Or Chaos Warrior, excuse me. Like, look at that. That is such a good piece.
That is one of the scarier line of scrimmages I mean, as far as, like, aesthetics is concerned, like, who would want to punch those guys?
Exactly. Also, just, it's a tough-to-punch line, and if you fail, they're just going to punch you back with Claw.
Yeah, it's going to hurt. Or
in this case, Mighty Blow, because Skaven don't care too much about Claw. I kind of like this.
So,
go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a bit interesting tactic. He's splitting his team on purpose here, which it gives him a lot of different options for the next turn about like where to go. So I think spreading out the Chaos team is good in that regards, but at the same time, usually splitting your team can lead to some troubling situations as well when you're on offense. So it's interesting.
It's definitely a like. He probably is going to score quickly if he's doing this. Because he doesn't want to leave his team split for too long, because then Viking Cop probably just picks a side and swarms it.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was going to say, I like that I kind of like the putting the Gutter Runner on the line just to, I assume, dodge him out here.
Yeah, you utilize the dodge skill.
Yeah.
I think another thing that this does is it forces, if the Tentacle Warrior wants to get on a gutter, he's going to have to blitz with them, which is one less Mighty Blow blitz on a player as well. So it could also help with the attrition for a turn.
Yeah.
For all the great tools that Viking Cop has on this Chaos team, no Frenzy, so allowing a lot of this sideline action to not be a ton of risk.
Yeah, no, I think Viking Cop's tools just haven't done a lot for him this game. It's felt like, he's gotten some removals, and those removals have been on good pieces, but they've all come back, and now this is kind of the nightmare scenario for Chaos. You haven't gotten the removals to take control of the game, and you're facing down a tie against Skaven without any player advantage.
Yep. I mean, grab has come into place quite a bit in the first half. It allowed him to keep the ball safe a few times from the sidestepper. But yeah, Tentacles hasn't. I think there's maybe only one or two Tentacle rolls against it. Stand Firm hasn't really made a play. Prince Iatel with all the two-head gutters running around hasn't made a huge play. So it's I think you're right what you're saying. The tools haven't always come into play here.
Yeah, well, I think it's just like, even when they've come into play, it hasn't led to any sort of permanent advantages for Viking Cop. Like, Grab did a really good job of canceling out Sidestep, but then he snaked the GFI to score, so he didn't really get anything out of it. Tentacles held the Gutter Runner in place, but he didn't get to kill the Gutter Runner, he just KO'd it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think Lumi's right. This is Viking Cop saying, fine, you can score, but do it now, so that I can play for overtime. Because I think at this point, Chaos have to play for overtime, right?
Yeah, well, it's gonna be very difficult to turn them over and score twice in this half. So, assuming that the Rats get this score off, so yeah, I think you definitely play for overtime, which is scary because they can just receive in one turn and you lose. So
yeah, but I mean at the same time, it's assume they score next turn and then Viking Cop bangs in a 2 or 3 turn score, then the Rats can just one turn right back anyway. So.
Yeah,
I think it's you're playing at this point for winning the OT toss, and maybe killing some Rats along the way.
hoping you kill some Rats along the way.
Yeah. Well, I think Viking Cop wants kind of mostly a repeat of the first half, except instead of KOs, he wants perms.
Yeah, just roll better.
Yeah. Golgothan needs to roll worse on his armor.
Yeah. That's always a solid plan.
Yeah.
Just hope your opponent rolls bad dice.
Yep. And yeah, Viking Cop has picked a side to swarm here. That does leave Brandon wide open here to take the ball and just run it in, but...
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, he could put the stand firm in a place to make it tough to move. He elects to base this lineman up here.
Fun idea here. So these 2 beastmen that still haven't moved. No, he's taking them the wrong way. I was wondering if he could do a screen sort of in between the 2 gutter runners, Joy and Brandon. Because right now, actually, Joy would need to make a GFI for the handoff. Otherwise, she's passing. And you don't want to pass right now. So... Could you have...
I was wondering if he was going to position the stand firm in a way to make either the handoff or the pass more difficult to this gutter on the left.
Yeah, like I would have loved to see Viking Cop put up a formation like... You stand one piece right to the right of this downed beastman, and then you make kind of a reverse L with your other 2 pieces to make not the strongest screen, but a screen to at least force more dice.
Yeah, I mean, as is that Agility 4 beastman is not really doing anything as is.
No, he's...
And if Golgothan wants, he could stall for another turn or 2 if he really wanted to and was willing to kind of take some punches on some of his best pieces, but
I don't think he is the thing. That's a free 3 die on your niggled 1-turner. Like,
right.
He will.
I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm saying he could have stalled if that's something he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. He will take a punch on distorted Diana here, which I think is a good choice. But we're at the point where I think you've got to score. Is he passing this? Oh, he's failing a GFI. So there's your reroll gone.
The GFI was more likely to work with this very sunny. And wow.
Oh. Oh my. So
that is a big turn of events here.
Can the Chaos capitalize? Because unfortunately, all of their pieces are just on the opposite side of the field.
That might have been one of the worst case scenarios.
But does Viking Cop care? Because now he gets to punch a lot of gutter runners. You can surf a gutter runner here. Dr. Ian Black might have a date with the crowd in a minute.
Ooh.
Oh. There's the KO.
I think I'm a little ahead of you. I'm going to slow down a bit, but yeah, that was big. Just getting him off the pitch, even temporarily. This very well could. Oh, he decided not to surf the gutter. I think he could have surfed in there pretty easily, but ooh, doesn't need to.
Yep. So that babe is gonna be doing some work.
I mean, maybe not. I mean, Viking Cop could get this ball and stall out and just score and win this half.
That would be amazing to watch
it could
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, 2 removals. That was maybe a worst case scenario for Golgathan there to fail that, because he left so many players in base contact, and it's a really tough situation for him to recover here. The only thing that is a bit of a blessing for him is that it's going to be tough for the Chaos to recover the ball here. It's going to take some dice.
Another KO. Wow.
Man, this is 3rd removal this turn.
In 3 blocks, too. Absolutely no wasted effort. Are we going to go 4 for 4 here? No. Stevie...
That lineman's not doing too good.
Stevie Spiky Tail is still chasing that last Kaz to get his guard or mighty blow or whatever he's going to get. So that right flank has gotten pretty much removed.
Erased. Yeah. All those reds on that right side have all just depleted.
Oh, man. And again, the linemen standing up incredibly well, and the positionals just falling apart at the first punch.
Oh well.
Now, this is nice, though. Yeah. We got stand firm on the ball. I'm assuming the loner's going to go stand on the ball as well, and now he's freed up a 3rd piece to go for the pickup. Or just stand on the ball, depending on what he feels like. Probably just stand on the ball because it is a loner, but...
Well, you can blitz off. I don't think he's used his blitz yet, surprisingly enough.
He is not.
He can blitz off the gutter and probably use the other loner to try and pick up the ball. Or if he didn't want to run that, he could try to dodge the agility 4 out.
Here's a crazy idea. What if you blitz your way out with the agility 4? Like, you bring over Rafagor to stand and cancel out assists, and then you blitz through with your 2 heads, agility 4, and just kind of get yourself out, and maybe just take GFIs and go for the pickup.
I wouldn't hate it. I guess the one concern I'd have is Ratz can just roll dice here and pick up the ball and score. I would like to try to see a pickup here, but maybe not. I mean, that might be the better way to go, is get your team involved. And
the risk of the pickup is always just going to be, if it scatters poorly, then the gutter runners are just going to be able to run around and get to it. Looks like he's going for it. Luke, I like KO surf by way of fist punch. Yeah, you don't need to surf when you just KO them anyway. Just pushes. That might be the end of it, but he might still go. This is a 3+2+, if I'm mathing this correctly.
He technically could go for the pickup.
I'd burn a reroll on. There's the 3+.
I was gonna ask, do you burn a reroll here?
I think you do this one at a time, and the first time a reroll gets burned, you stop. But like, you do not just click on the ball here and pray. Oh, but he does, and it works.
Wow. Man, wow.
So clearly, this is why I'm not in playoffs, and Viking Cop is.
That was great though, man. That was worst case scenario for Golgathan. Unfortunate to fill those roles.
And now he
albeit that's the risk you take when that's your plan of attack, right?
Yeah.
You kind of hear it. You hear it a lot where passing isn't a formidable plan in this game, or consistently, because you can fail. We saw that where Golgathan was set up to score early, but he still needed dice rolls.
Yeah.
To do that, so
dice can be fickle mistresses, and
he was incredibly unfortunate. I'm not saying that. That was his plan was more likely to work than it wasn't. But once again, those are the risks that you accrue when that's your plan of action. And Viking Cop, man, he had the pretty dang good dice there right afterwards. So those removals, He had a good dice, but he also put himself in a good position to have to capitalize on those good dice as well.
Yeah, well, he put himself in the position of basically saying, hey, if you don't score, this is going to suck for you. And then Golgothan didn't score. But Gary Friendly, again, does it all. Finds the one-die POW. Doesn't catch, but puts it in a decent spot.
Does put it in a decent spot.
That's a 2+, 3+, 2+, with built-in rerolls on the dodges. And the sure hands.
And there are no... And you can get fairly safe away from tackle as well.
Oh, and it looks like he might be just going for the pass here.
Wow.
I kind of like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can make this a 4+ pass, I think. Maybe a 3+ if you're willing to take some GFIs or cut corners in there.
It is very sunny. That's a we talked about maybe could it come into play, and it already.
Yep, sure hands does a thing, but I think he's passing here. This is not safe.
4+, yeah.
Makes it. And wow. There you go.
Gary Friendly.
Gary Friendly does it again. He is...
That's all you need to know.
by far the MVP. As I skip the orc cheerleaders here.
Gary effing Friendly.
And everything comes back, and all of a sudden, Golgothan is fine. Wow.
I was all doomsday scenario over here.
I mean, that was kind of the doomsday scenario for him. I don't blame you. Like, he was kind of screwed. Not to put it,
Gary
you know.
effing Friendly.
Yeah. Jesus. What a baller. Yeah, the GFI just being a 5% improvement. But the failure of the GFI basically means Golgothan loses the game at that point. So I think he did it right by just going for the pass. He had the reroll if he needed it.
No,
he didn't. Yeah, Gary burned the reroll, so it was all just trust in dice.
Yeah, throw a dice at the wall, see what sticks.
Dice being Sour Patch Kids today. First they're sour, then they're sweet.
I mean, to be fair to Golgothan, that's what needed to happen for him to score. I'm not saying he threw dice just to throw dice. For him to get in this game, he needed that to hit.
The skill isn't in throwing dice. The skill is in knowing when to throw dice, and that was absolutely when to throw dice. So
he had no other choice.
Yeah. I like this, though. This is a much more aggressive defense.
Yeah, agreed.
Obviously, Golgothan would be fine taking it to overtime, but he doesn't want to. Like, he still likes his chances, but...
What this does is it gives him a chance to one turn on turn 16 now.
I don't know if it...
Right? Or
no, because Viking Cop's...
right.
It was Golgothan's offense, so Viking Cop will run it in turn 16.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. I mean, only one reroll left for Golgothan, so it was a costly 3 turns.
Yeah, I think honestly still better than Viking Cop expected, but yeah, that's nice for him.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how I would feel if I was Viking Cop here. I think he'd probably feel a little with snaking his GFIs and then Golgothan making his dice for scores. He probably feels a little undone there, but
yeah,
he still has a chance here.
At the same time, if you think about it logically, this is more or less what we expected to happen, but it's 2 less rerolls and I guess the same amount of rats, but you probably would have expected Golgothan to be in this situation with 3 rerolls, so at least there's that.
Yeah, I mean, no removals yet through... This is now turn 11.
Yeah, this has got to feel bad.
Yeah, is a bit surprising. Man, those babes have done work, though.
I don't think he's failed a single KO roll. Which, to be fair, Viking Cop hasn't either, but Viking Cop's only made 1, so...
Yeah. That's when you say, in the Discord after the game, Viking Cop says, your KO rolls were great. You could say, yours were too.
Exactly. And his were. yeah, just can't buy injury to save his life, except for that one that got APO'd out. Let's see, how many... Where's the... Oh, I guess the Babe wasn't even necessary. He just rolled well on the KOs. It was a 4, a 5, and a 4. So we are going to see a cage up here. As Viking Cop is just going to need to be very slow and methodical about marching up the field. And without the threat of the wizard, he can be, so...
Yeah, yep, he can just kind of grind him down here.
Yeah. This has been quite the second half so far, though. So let's see how aggressive Golgothan gets with his defense this time. Doesn't look like he's planning on waiting a few turns to engage.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a tough situation here, as far as drive is concerned. You're going to want to try to slow him down. Not a lot of great blitz targets here. I guess you try to pick off one of the loners on the end, but you're not in a great situation here to put a lot of pressure on.
Yeah. If I were Golgothan, I would love the chance to put Suction Sullivan on the ground here. And just foul him with Gary Friendly, but I don't know if he's going to get that.
Yeah, I mean, with the guard right next to him, I don't see a way how. Maybe he can put... No, I don't know.
You'd have to like do something silly, like dodge through gutter runners.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So you could use a two-head to like dodge in the loner's tackle zones and get in there.
And then you could get a 1-die, and like it's just like not worth it. And if it fails,
I mean, it's worth when you're going through your turn, I think it's worth being like, can I get this guy on the ground, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
This isn't the turn to do it, but that's definitely a piece you want to keep your eye on, because he can just tie down so many pieces. Fireball a bunch of heretics. Fortunately, He just has one. But
yeah, unfortunately, he does not have the fireball anymore. Fireball did do work first half. Didn't directly prevent the score, but it led to the chain of events that led to Viking Cop not scoring. So, give bonus wizard to my Rel ally. Yeah, if only. No, I am fair and impartial in this cast. And I think both coaches have played this quite well in their recovering from unfortunate situations.
I agree. It has been a well so far.
Yeah.
That was a big dodge from Prehensile Tail from that lineman who was able to stand in front of the sidestep gutter. It was a 4+ and prevents a gutter from getting 3-died with Mighty Blow Tackle. So
yep.
That was big.
It's freeing up tentacles, though, to go somewhere.
So, yeah, Golgothan was able to slow him down this turn 12. I'm assuming Viking Cop is going to engage here all the way. Definitely being cognizant of keeping the ball safe, but he's definitely going to get in the grill of a lot of these rats. And a lot of the linemen and the blitzers have a hard time disengaging, right? So I think it's the right move.
Yeah, and yeah, especially when you can do this, and now what I assume he's going to do is he's going to then slap tentacles. Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, there's a first, I would assume, permanent room game.
I don't think you can, on a rookie Storm Vermin, I don't think you can APA that, so... Finally breaks through. My assumption is Suction Sullivan is going to get right up in there on Brandon. Yep, there he goes. And yeah, I just don't see a.
The ball may not be moving very far this turn, but definitely creating an avenue down the middle of the field now for.
Yeah. The only thing that might be a minor issue is you got Roy Teppert here on the ground, who obviously, like, you know, you could put the ball next to him, but there's the risk that he kind of just stands up and red dies you, and if that works,
and his guard isn't able to be placed on him, so he has just the 2 guard, and they're not placed on him. So yeah, you definitely don't want to place the ball adjacent to that down player.
Which means you're probably placing it over behind the Prehensile Tail Beast here. And there is the risk that Dr. Ian Black could run around the side and hit you with horns. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's got to cover off that back corner. There we go. Alright, so this ball's pretty safe now.
Yep, he has his tackle on the back. Talking with the gutters to dive into. There could be some aggressive play here if you really wanted to try to get a sack on the ball here. You could potentially 1 die, or maybe potentially, you could 2 die the loner Shy Figure on the left, and then dodge through the warriors, so you're not dodging into tackle to get an uphill on the ball carrier. That's if you're willing to be super aggressive here. So yeah. I'm curious. He's gonna have a hard time disengaging from everyone else. So, what are your thoughts here? Do you think, are you gonna be super aggressive here, or are you gonna try to slow him down a bit more?
Doesn't feel like the turn to me. As a quick aside, True Blue rating with the party of 9. Welcome, True Blues viewers. How you guys doing? But yeah, I think especially with those 2 moves, it looks like he doesn't think this is the turn either. There's just so much chaos in the way. I think he wants to keep screening and just kind of slow this down. Maybe put Viking Cop in a situation where he has to be more aggressive to get field position so he can score. And that's when you strike.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And it might have been actually plan of attack that I had because of where the guard is located. I don't think you could have canceled out the Mighty Blow tackle assist. It might have been a 3-die up hit anyways. So he has horns. So maybe not. But still, yeah, I don't think it was the time to be aggressive there. But are you considering a time to be aggressive here? Only 1 reroll within an overtime format. Are you playing the conservative game and playing for overtime, or do you think you try to make a move to sack the ball carrier this half?
It's tough because it's like, on one hand, you can try to be aggressive without burning your rerolls or your last reroll, but then you might be giving up something that could actually work. But obviously then if you burn your reroll and it fails, you've kind of screwed yourself, especially because Viking Cop still has all 3. So he can even be the one that can get a little aggressive with reroll usage here to see if he can get some bonus removals.
Yeah, a lot of interesting decisions here.
Yep. Oh, do not. Oh, no.
Oh. Yeah, cannot agree with that.
Oh, that, I think, was a mistake. That was your last reroll on a, ultimately, I think, more or less meaningless block.
Agreed. Even him standing there, not a full screen still. So he doesn't achieve a lot standing there.
No. It's something I did miss in that was Gutter Runner successfully dodged away from tentacles on an 11. But,
oh, nice.
So that's nice, but I cannot agree with that.
Yeah.
Reroll usage.
Yeah, no doubt. Overtime format. You have a natural 1-turner on your team, and he was aggressive with his rerolls is what we noticed.
Yeah. No, I think as we are going straight for this Gutter Runner, we get the POW. Gonna pin him to the sideline here, I feel like.
Interesting choice of blitz target, because that means he's not moving up a lot this turn
Yeah,
either.
he might just be trying to take this space on the side here, but
He could have blitzed the lineman, Dr. Bickerson on the left, and he would have had plenty of room to move up his cage and advance the ball, but he feels not rushed here, so has 4 turns.
yeah.
And wanted to capitalize on getting a mighty blow hit on the gutter, so can't fault him there.
It may be that he's not feeling the need to move forward yet, and he just wants to stay in the center. So he doesn't want to like commit to one sideline where he can get kind of pinned in. As we do see another stun, but even with the couple removals coming in, these rats have held up just amazingly well to all the punches they've taken.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's this point where it's like, it would be nice if there was at least one piece with piling on to hopefully turn some of these stuns into a casualty, but... And yeah, we're going to see him just stay right in the center here. Well, maybe not now. I'm just gonna stop predicting things.
Hey, you were doing a pretty good job before that, though.
Yeah.
I will say you had a pretty good idea of what these coaches wanted to do before that. So I'm not gonna hold that one against you.
At this point now, though, I am questioning the decision to blitz that gutter runner instead of the line rat.
Yeah, a bit, right? I mean, he's still fairly protected.
I guess, yeah.
It's not easy to get in.
I guess to be fair, it's like it's not like this is going to be the turn that the Skaven can get in and cause some havoc. And he's made some forward progress, but it's just like, you know, the Skaven over on the other side of the field, they're going to be able to get back and screen off easily. And now he's kind of limited the directions he can go.
But with no rerolls for Gathan, any dice roll is risky.
Yeah, I save one reroll for overtime, because if you win the toss, you're going for that one turn because you're going to win the game.
At this point, yeah,
And
I think you would. Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. He could get I mean, there are kickoff events for him to get a reroll back. So it's still possible to have. But yeah, I definitely would have saved it as well.
Yeah, but getting a reroll back from a kickoff event is a lucky coincidence. It's not like a strategy.
Yeah, no doubt.
I just don't know what you...
Yeah, I think he probably just blitzes this warrior on the corner and tries to slow him down even.
Probably fouls it too.
Maybe, yeah.
Nope. Maybe not. This is true. The one turn does have a built-in reroll for every action he takes for the one turn. That is a good point, because it's catch, sprint, sure feet, and then the guy that picks up the ball has sure hands. So basically, as long as he doesn't need to pass, everything is safe. And keep in mind, it's still very sunny.
Yeah, still very sunny, and also if you, with the like sure feet, you can pop sure feet on the first one and then utilize a team root if you need it, if you roll another one later in the sequence. So there's a lot of instances, even with all built-in rerolls, where you would a team reroll makes it so much more likely to succeed.
True. Gonna see the dodge out? Yep.
Wow, nice. A couple 2+. He's still this right flank where the vermin, the storm vermin who blitzed.
Especially now that he failed that dodge out. That's a hole.
He needed that dodge to succeed for the screen to actually be a screen here.
Yeah. No, I think now Viking Cop can kind of retake the center here. And this kind of slow march up the field is going pretty well for him so far.
Yep, with that placement of the warrior, he will need knockdown. Well, because of the placement of the stunned lineman, actually, he need a knockdown anyways to be able to break through the screen.
Yeah. More breaks are good.
And when your ball carrier is agility 4, 2 heads, screens aren't very effective anyway. So
yeah, he can blitz through a screen. Honestly, he just
or just dodge through. Like he can do whatever the hell he wants. Really, it's
not.
I mean, he doesn't have the dodge skill, but it's screening isn't a great tactic.
I'm looking at you just say that he decided he needed to get through this turn. He could just blitz down Lou Peterson here, punch him out of the way, and then just 2+ dodge his way through. Obviously, no dodge. It's not perfect, but
right. Yeah, it's a good point, Luke. Where sometimes it's better to take a hit, and to not give up ground. A lot of times when you're playing, this with wood elves, sometimes you have to strategically base at times to slow down your opponent's offensive drive. If you continue to give them space, it's going to be they're just going to take that space and you'll just get grinded down. So sometimes you need to set up for a wizard for the next turn or for a lot of pressure.
Yep.
So I think it's a good point.
Yet another KO here.
Yeah, so Viking Cop electing to blitz the gutter and swing far right here instead of down the middle that I was thinking, which I think that's fair. It's probably even a better decision as well. So swinging far right here is going to make it tough for the Ratz to reposition, and he's looking in a pretty good prime position here to score.
Yeah, they're not going to cover off everything from this position that they're in now, which I really like this decision from Viking Cop. And with no guard, he's okay with leaving the cage based here.
Yeah, no guard and the strength advantage as well.
Yeah, and stand firm on the cage corner that's based.
Yeah, good call. Yeah.
Now this is looking good for Viking Cop to get to overtime at least. The challenge, of course, being then once you get to overtime, there's still that risk. And we've seen it many, many times before.
Yeah, and also the cage diver now based with the strength 5 tentacles, so that has made any kind of cage diving play that much more unlikely.
Yeah, needs a 9+ just to start the play, let alone all the dice he has to roll to get in. That said, if he does escape, there's a 1 die on the ball here with that cage diver.
Yep.
And with wrestle, it's a 50% chance to knock the ball down. And
yep, it won't be diving against tackle either, so fairly likely to work, except for the tentacles roll.
This is the turn that I go for it, though. It's like...
Yeah, you could cause some havoc with amongst the chaos. The issue being, if it doesn't work, you're likely to get stomped, you're likely to get your team crushed. So yeah, there's some risk reward here. But yeah, you might be right. This might be the time to do it.
Yeah, I think this is the turn when I would at least take the risk.
It should be 1 GFI as well.
Yeah.
Because, the movement bust.
And he's going for it. It looks like. Otherwise, I don't know why you'd base up that cage corner. Of course, if this doesn't work, Viking Cop pretty much scores here. Like, barring some truly atrocious dice.
Yeah. Even if it does work, there's probably some pretty good chance that he scores anyways.
Whoa.
Wow.
Tense gets out. Doesn't get it, though.
Man, that was bet you Viking Cop held his breath there for a second.
Yeah, that was he was clenching for that one.
Squeaky bum time.
Yep. Does manage to get an extra hit here on the stand firm and does knock it over. Doesn't break armor though, so nice little bonus he gets out of that, but at the same time, the Ratz are now very based and
Yeah.
very based. He's gonna get lots of 3-dies on gutter runners here, and the ball is probably gonna be able to put itself in a safe position. Especially with this armor break.
Man, gutters have been getting crushed all game.
Dropping like flies. They just always keep coming back, it seems. But yeah, there's...
I think that's a 4th or 5th gutter knockout.
I think we're up to like 6 or 7 at this point, honestly. Yeah, it's been, the first half, all 3 that were on the field got knocked off. But yeah, this has been the most durable I've seen a Skaven team in a while. So, interesting question. If you are Viking Cop, where do you put the ball this turn to minimize your risk for next turn?
So he can form a pretty formidable cage on, I guess that'd be like the 18-yard line, 1 square left of the kind of left hash.
Yeah, I think I see where you're...
A full cage, yeah.
Where you're doing it, like right about there-ish.
Yeah, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It actually might be 1 below that, so it'd be like the 16-yard line, I guess. So you can have a full cage there, yeah.
Yeah, that's still definitely close enough to score with minimal issue next turn.
That's where I would put it, but I mean, he has a lot of room on that left side. He could even be a little bit more central than if he wanted to.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a little more central because he moved the tentacles in to tie up as many rats as possible. Because right now the ball is in range with 2 GFIs. We've seen this before. He needs to get at least 2 squares up the field, so as long as he gets to the 12, he's fine. As we're going to see... another POW on the gutter runner here.
Wow.
And with that, I don't think we're going to see...
7th knocked out gutter?
Yup. It might be. We will have to take a look at the... How many KOs do you think total in this game? I'm going to go with 9 up to this point.
I don't know if it's that many. It might be, it might be 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So,
and yeah, with that gutter runner out, this is fine.
Yeah, now the right flank is also free.
Yep.
So, yeah. Pick a spot. You can go wherever the hell you want.
Yep. I would just bring your other Agi 4 down around, to definitely tie in Lou Peterson so he doesn't get any ideas of being the hero here. Yeah, right there is pretty perfect.
And he also needs to be cognizant of Roy Tepper, the 9th. Either block him away or screen him off because he has some dodge chances
4,
to get a 1.
6, 7, 8. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully Viking Cop recognizes that because you can bring over your plus movement Chaos Warrior. But no,
does not.
He might have forgotten about Roy here.
Roy Tepper. That's what, 3+ and then 2 GFIs?
No rerolls, but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I mean,
7.
What else are you doing this turn, right?
Yep, 3+, 2 2+s for 1 die on the ball. Yeah, probably not going to work, but you probably do it.
I don't see what else you do this turn. I think you just click.
It's just, yeah.
Click Roy, click ball,
Yeah, Yeah.
I think Viking Cup forgot about Roy here.
He's pretty forgettable. It is a 9 up.
I mean, the heroes of this game really have been the line rats so far.
That is very true.
Not only have they stood up well to the punishment, but Gary Friendly in particular has been making some hero plays, which has been pretty funny. Not gonna lie.
Gary can do no wrong. Although he might die here, unfortunately. He's in a bad spot.
Yeah, he's in a rough spot, but if I'm Viking Cop, I'm not rolling any dice before I put that ball in the end zone. The loner said he'd goat him covered. Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here.
Oh man. That's not Roy.
Gary went for
it.
Out of the dance roll.
Tentacles has been useless. No, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
that would have
roll like 6 in a row.
Yeah. Well, Gary's fine and now won't get punched, so I don't think you do anything else. Oh, we're blitzing. I mean, I guess this is safe. Yeah, it's a 3 die.
3 die with the reroll. Yeah.
I think you're safe.
Yeah, definitely trying to on a pretty important piece as well.
Yeah. And I mean, if you lose to a Hexaskull, at least you have that story about how you lost to a Hexaskull.
That is a good point.
Yep. I don't think we do anything else here, though. We're not going to take a loner block. Oh, I guess there's one more rat standing up that we can punch. I didn't see Lou Peterson there.
Yeah, you can get another 3 die. Might as well Mighty Blow.
Yeah, this is fine. Oh. That was almost scary, but...
Man, no damage. Big KO rolls coming up.
Yeah. This could have been a lot worse for Viking Cop, given the how little damage he's done to the rats. And yep, here we go. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to overtime here. I'm happy about this. This has been a good game so far. So
it has. What you typically see with Skaven teams with one-turner, there typically is a lot of draws at plays, just because they good chance for them to equalize. So I kind of said at the beginning of the match, I would not be surprised if this goes overtime, and here we are.
Oh my. So, have you gotten to the coin flip yet?
I have not. They're flipping the coin right now. It's a big coin flip.
Chaos win, but let's talk about that babe.
Yeah.
I guess she was only contractually obligated to be here for 16 turns, and...
Yeah, she's like, I'm not getting paid for this.
Yep.
Yeah, that's huge.
So
2 gutters out.
Finally, Viking Cop getting, I think, a little bit of a break here.
Yeah.
He's going to have the man advantage and the ball for OT. So...
Yep, this is barring something crazy. I will say the wrestle tackle 2 heads gutter is still on the field, so he can still cage dive with some reliability. But this is looking fairly rough for Golgathan to hold on here.
And now those rerolls that he burned coming back to bite him, I think, as he has none to Viking Cop's 3. For this OT. Like, realistically, I think Golgathan was, at this point, he's like, well, I need to win the toss. And
Yeah,
He didn't get it.
Need a toss. Triple calling a blitz. I don't know. I mean, even if he does blitz, it'd have to be a pretty short kick for him to take advantage of it.
I think he'll kick short and hope, because that's, again, his best chance. And Viking Cop set up well to... Yeah, and that's a very short kick. Riot canceled that again, and... I guess, you know, it could get kind of scary if the pickup gets snaked here, but barring that, I think as soon as the Mutants pick up the ball, they're not letting go of it.
Yeah, no. And I think we're probably going to see a similar drive to what we saw last half when the Viking Cop equalized on, where it's just kind of slow grind up the field and punch it in for the win.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, for Golgathan, there's not a lot you can do here at this point with this team that has this many tools. It's hard. There's not much, especially with a good coach with Viking Cop. There's not a lot you can do to like just strictly outplay him for the win here, right? A lot of it, you're gonna have to roll some really good dice. You're gonna have to have a lot of fortunate events take place here. It's just the reality of this game and kind of how they're set up. It's just the Skaven. It's gonna be tough for them to stop him.
Yeah, I mean, being down 2 to start the drive hurts. Like,
and kicking, and only 2 gutters on the field, and you don't have a piece that can, like a claw body bow piece that can try to equal the numbers.
Yeah,
it's gonna be very tough for him.
It's not even.
Pull this one off.
It's honestly not even the gutters. Well, one of the gutters is one that you want, but you also really want that sure hands piece as your recovery option. And oh, there goes your first reroll at least, but. There's a place here I see where you Claw McClaw blitzes off Jan Skylar, and then Suction Sullivan can get onto 3 Skaven here with tentacles to make it even more frustrating. Although, actually, I don't think he's going to with his moving back. With
moving the other one back, then probably don't want to put him up there with no support because he just gets knocked down.
Yeah, and fouled at that point.
Yeah.
So what do you do at this point as Golgothan? Because I suppose the prehensile tail piece is a little bit isolated, but not really.
You probably blitz him because it's one of the few guard pieces. But other than that, you try to just get in front, slow him down for a potential cage dive opportunity in future turns.
Yeah. Viking Cop doesn't need to be in any hurry here, though. He can slow roll up the field.
So the winner of this match will face the winner between the Sir, his Undead Squad, and Destruction Dart, and his Lev. So those two have not played yet, but could be an interesting matchup. We'll see if Kislev can continue to march on in the Challengers Cup.
Ooh. It's always fun to see Kislev do well in playoffs.
Yeah, this is quite aggressive. Is he going for right now? Nope.
He's going for a foul, I think, here.
Maybe so.
Gary Friendly. I mean, I think he's probably thinking he needs to start equalizing numbers. Because if he doesn't, then, you know, he's just going to get sort of choked out of this game.
Yeah. I mean, it's something, right? I mean, not much else he can do at this point. So, yeah, maybe try to even up the numbers to put some pressure on.
This is a big foul, too. Let's see if Gary can continue his game here. Oh boy. Yep. Yes, he can. Wow. So
do no wrong.
Apo gone. That's a pretty big piece to lose if you're Viking Cop.
Yeah. It's a pretty good piece against Skaven.
Yeah, that's so that's got to feel good. That's kind of a nice little mental boost to Golgothan here. You know, make him feel like he's not completely out of this game.
The issue is that he's almost everyone is going to get crushed here now.
Yeah, I mean, and also he's committed really, really hard to his left side, Viking Cop's right, and Viking Cop can now just kind of swing around. So there is not... I mean, everything he does here is going to be inherently risky and not ideal in this scenario, but that's because there's no real ideal play left for him. Yeah, Gary is a beast. It's like...
He's played one of the games of his life, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah.
With the... he pretty much single-handedly gave them a chance to score on their offensive drive. 2 removals from the dirty player. Some great kicks.
If I'm a Viking Cop, I'd blitz Gary this turn. Just try to, shut him down here. I mean, it's... What else are you going to blitz here? And he's been, he's removed 2 pieces now. Just another stun. These line rats have been so durable.
Yep, and here comes a blitz on the wrestle tackle piece.
I like this, actually. This is, I think...
Yeah, he set that up well.
Yeah, well done. Gets the POW, too. Not that it mattered, but... He is very effectively pinning in the entire Skaven team, basically.
No break, though.
It's been kind of the tale of this game, though.
Yeah.
Like... And yeah, it's Viking Cop's going to be able to take so much field position next turn. Just letting my clan opponent know this game went to OT. So it's going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah. Interesting blitz direction here, trying to put some pressure on those backside of Viking Cop's cage.
Yeah. Don't know if I like where he pushed that, though. I think he kind of blocked himself in. There was a safety valve he could have maybe tried to dodge some line rats through to put some pressure on the backside. But
yeah, I think it was a bad push direction.
And I think he's maybe realizing that.
Oh man, Gary Friendly coming in with another stomp. Saying
that actually, you know what? That's probably what he's doing. That's why he pushed that way. Can Gary Friendly do it again?
Can Gary Friendly by himself remove the entire chaos?
Here we go. Here we go. Oh my god. 3 fouls. 3 Kazes.
Very single-handedly out-bashing this chaos.
Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Okay, so we are back to parity on numbers, thanks to the foot of Gary Friendly.
Yeah, when
at what point?
He shines the brightest when the lights are on.
At what point do we stop calling him a meme player and start calling him an actually good player? Because
Oh my god,
that is God. Poor Viking Cop. His head has got to be in his hands right now. Like he's about to lose to a dirty player, sneaky get line rat.
Can we get Gary Friendly in the next hype video?
I feel like we have to. He's at least got to be in the next Superstar Shootout. Seriously, what a playoffs performer. Oh.
Yeah, nice job making that 3 dice.
Yeah. Get another stun. At the same time as, that was obviously hilarious and amazing, but if I'm Viking Cop, I'm just caging up, like right next to Clawing McClaw here, and there is so much daylight and no rats in between me and the end zone.
Yep. He's been able to do some damage here, but he's had to give up so much ground to do so.
We said to give up all the ground. It's like he's gotten the removals. Now he has to
swing back drastically.
Yeah, he might have overcommitted to the removals here. As funny as it has been, and as effective as Gary Friendly has been, Viking Cop probably still scores a touchdown here.
I mean, Viking Cop could just go all the way to his sideline, blitz the Dr. Vickerson. Well, I guess he has to worry about the actual Gibbons the third now. Also,
he can't get away from Gibbons.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me there. Can't get away from Gibbons, but that is what he's going to do. And I think this is the right call, because now it's like, okay, well, you've had your fun, but I'm going to win next turn unless you get some really stupid dice.
Yeah. Put a little bit of semi-screen in front of him. I still think you line rat and let Gibbons try to do an uphill block if he wants.
I mean, it's a very risky uphill block. It's basically it's a reverse 1 in 9.
Oh, actually, he cut off the backside, so now he's looking at, I think even 5, just a 6, push.
7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, but you got to go around tentacles here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 GFIs for, and like a couple 2+ dodges, but I mean, it's, I think he's more interested in cutting off Ian Black than Gibbons here.
Reverse 1 in 9 would just be an 8 in 9, or would it be a 9 to 1?
Yeah, I guess it's a 1 in 9 to succeed instead of a 1 in 9 to fail. Ooh, that was a bit greedy there. Didn't end up working out for him. I guess he wanted to free up Thalon to come around and really make it difficult for Gibbons to get through. But
so I think the only chance Gilgathan has here is maybe Bernie making some 6+s and 2+s, and the downed line rat who's facing the
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he could reach for a 1 die with some GFIs and casual 5+, 4+, 4+, 3+, 2+, 2+,
Or could try the uphill with Gibbons.
I don't know which one is better. I feel like Gibbons
Probably
is at least...
uphill,
Yeah, Gibbons is at least more likely to get there. Like,
it's a 5+, yeah, so it's like a 2+, and then the knockdown we have 5+, 5+, which is probably better than the 5+, 4+, 4+, 2+, 2+, 3+, whatever it does.
Yeah. And then it's a 5+ still at the end, so...
Gary taking one on the chin there and getting stunned.
Yeah, but all line rats have been just strong boys this entire game, so there's not a lot to do here. I don't know. I think you... Let's see. Can Can Ian Black reach with something silly? No. I don't think he can. There's too much tentacles and crap in the way. So, yeah, I think you click Gibbons, you click the ball. He's probably setting it up now. And you just pray.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. He may elect to just protect his players as well.
Yeah, but in playoffs, I think you go for it and hope that, you've still got Napo just in case Death Floor happens. So, I would be bummed out if Golgotham just conceded the win here. I think he should at least try.
Alright, Dr. Ian Black is in a better position. And
Here we go.
I think you're right here.
Doesn't get it.
Just pushes. Valiant effort, though. I think he went a more difficult route.
Does push him out of scoring range without a GFI. So,
That's, yeah.
There's that. And I guess Gibbons has to be knocked over in order for this to work, but I don't know. I think you can just bring over Lagavulin, block off Bernie, bring over Lagavulin, knock Gibbons down on a 3-die, and
Yeah, then you can just screen off from...
Or you just blitz yourself through, honestly. It's the same chance, but it's less rolls. So... Oh no, he's bringing over the Horns guy. Gets the knockdown. This could hurt. Nope, he's fine. But Viking Cop is now a 2+ away from winning this and moving on to the round of 16.
You probably don't take the 2+ this turn. You can do a fairly good job of screening away from Dr. Ian Black.
Yeah, I think he's I mean, Gibbons would be the one to worry about because he can just make 2+ dodges out to go pick up the ball and huck it.
Yeah.
So I would almost just take it. It's a 1 in 36 fail state, and
he could have some PTSD from snaking.
That's the thing. It did happen earlier, but I still think that
I don't think I would. I would probably put him up on the right next to the touchdown and do with the 2 free beastmen try to screen off from Dr. Ian Black. And
yeah,
I think and you may even go maybe not all the way to next to the end zone, but like 1 down, so in case there's just make sure there's no risk of scattering out of bounds. But
given that he's taking punches instead of running for the end zone, I think he's doing what you're thinking. Just kind of...
I think he has a better opportunity to score if he doesn't try the GFI and waits till next turn.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that I would potentially be worried about is he can screen, but it'd still be 2+ in for the uphill from Ian Black. And, again, it's... The knockdown's not super likely, and obviously if it fails, Ian Black is just going to push him into the end zone and he wins, but it's still, possible enough that it could be scary, especially because then Gibbons is in range to just run down, pick it up, and just huck it.
Yep.
No, but it looks like he's going for the screen here. Yeah, yeah, he's just putting the maximum amount of tackle zones in the way as possible. So what he's going to do is he's going to sit in that corner there, I think. Oh, nope.
Oh, he moved?
Well, there we go. Think.
All right, touchdown Viking Cup.
Yep, and just like that, when neither of us were expecting it, Viking Cup is through. And he will go on to face the winner of the other two teams that I forgot already.
The Surge and Destruction Dart.
Surge and Destruction Dart. That'll be a fun matchup because it's either going to be Kislev or Blizzards? Undead. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Gary Friendly cheated out of his MVP. Gibbons steals it, even though he didn't really do anything. And Lagavulin, that's a nice MVP for Viking Cop. 70 blocks and only 20 armor breaks against Ratz is kind of nuts.
It is a bit nuts.
He did get...
The armor held up 62%. That's pretty good. To be fair,
amazing.
I mean, he hit with Mighty Blow quite a bit, I guess. So I think it did hold up really well.
Yeah, and like no piling on. I mean, that helps, but yeah, no. His removal rate was good for the armor breaks he did get, but overall, that's well done to Viking Cop. Commiserations to Golgothan. That was
agreed.
Hard fought loss. Unfortunately, the Babe taking off at exactly the wrong time, and then that little bit of a failed quick score attempt kind of did him in. But
yeah,
at least we got to see Gary Friendly do Gary Friendly things.
Gary Friendly absolutely did work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, congratulations. Looking forward to your next match. And hopefully at Golgothan, hopefully you keep the team and we can still watch some more Gary Friendly action next season.
I mean, Gary Friendly's still alive, so that is hope that we're going to see him next season and figure out if he's actually the oldest team in Rebel. But that's going to do it for me.
Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate you letting me stay on.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for joining on and co-casting with me. I'm going to cut the stream here so that I can highlight it easily later. And then I'll probably just do my clan game off stream, honestly, because my voice is starting to go a little bit. But thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to True Blue for the raid midway through, and then Misshapen Paradox for the follow, which I didn't call out mid-flow of the cast, but I do appreciate
worst streamer ever.
And yeah, I will see you guys next time I stream. So long.
Yeah, see y'all.